Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yo, YouTube, what's going on? I believe today is April 11th, 2018, Cincinnati, Ohio. On my way to getting ready. We're going to the landfill. Just did a whole tear out yesterday in the mulch installation. As you can see, I got the trailer loaded up with all of the debris. Just wanted to check in with everybody. Kind of put a cap on the first bio I did, the first videos, talking about how, explaining how I got into lawn care. And just to recap, I lost a job due to some unfair circumstances. I'm a Muslim as my religion, and our holy days on Fridays. So, I worked through a temp service to get a job, to get a factory job, and it went well. It was a pretty good company for the most part, and I don't believe it was racism or discrimination or anything like that. I just think it was a set of inconvenient circumstances. I was trying to get a religious accommodation on for Fridays so I can go and pray, and I wasn't willing to, work extra hours and come in earlier, and so I can leave, and then I'll come right back. I just wanted to go and pray. So that it didn't. I filed paperwork, and it went to the highest of the high. And they ended up moving me. They ended up accommodating me after I contacted a lawyer. As a matter of fact, my local mosque, got me a lawyer, and they contacted them. They ended up giving me an accommodation, but they stripped me of my job position, which was a machine operator, and put me on labor, put me back on labor, and I was working in the hardest, dirtiest part of the factory. I was sandblasting copper. I didn't have the proper protection, respiratory protection, and it seemed like they were giving me the runaround, saying it had to be ordered from China, so I had to wait a couple of weeks. And I'm working back here, and I'm breathing in all of this copper debris, and I'm talking about my mucus was green and everything from the copper, so it was just bad. My uncle ended up being murdered, and when my uncle got murdered, I took off from the job that day. I was already there, and went to go, try to rectify that situation, and I kept calling in to get my grievance paid, and they ended up firing me when I tried to go back to work that following week. I couldn't get through to anybody. I was calling my supervisor, and they were supposed to be relaying the message, for my grievance vacation, and they were not. So they just wrote it as a no call, no show. It was kind of convenient for them because, they didn't really like that I got a lawyer involved for my religious accommodation. So it was kind of their reason. So after that, I was already doing my mom's lawn, and she gave me the idea. It was like, hey, you can cut some grass in between time while you're looking for another job. And I had just got out of doing from 9 years from prison, so I was mortified. I got a family that I have to feed. A lot of pressure on me not to recidivate. A lot of pressure to not let people down who have been cheering for me. And just overall to just establish my life, because I lost an entire decade, a third of my life, to prison. So I felt like things was going in the right direction, and I could get inside that company and grow. So that's how I got started doing lawn care. I made a post on Facebook, and it was just going well. People started hitting me up, and $20 here, $30 there, $40 there, $60 sometimes. And I looked at it and it was like, what? I think I could turn this hustle into a business. So I went ahead with it and rode with the momentum that Allah gave me. And I started to study the craft more. I've been very acclimated with yard work, because My mother, she was taught it by my grandmother and my grandfather. They from the South, they from the country, and they grew up having their own land, their own chickens, own animals to farm and so forth. So, they can build a house from the ground up. And all of my uncles are contractors to one degree or another. They do plumbing, and I think I have an electrician or some type of engineer. My uncles do. So we all in the contracting industry. So it's kind of in my blood. And my mom had taught me how to weed garden, just taught me how to lay mulch. Definitely taught me how to cut grass. That was my chore since I was the grown man in the house. So, and she has she finally bought a house after working very, very hard for about 20-something odd years. She bought a house, a nice house, in the suburbs. We didn't grow up in the suburbs, but while I was in prison, she did well for herself, and did it without any help, and pushed through. Got a house, and she fixed it up. Got a fixer-upper. Got it all the way together. So the whole time I was in prison, she was learning more about lawn care and landscaping and so forth, and she was actually doing all that stuff herself. So that was her number one thing. When I was gone in prison, that's what she kept telling me. I can't wait till you come home, so I'm going to ask somebody to cut this grass again. So I became good at it that way, because she does really well with the lawn care. She knows all the little tricks and secrets, all the mistakes or whatever. So she's been guiding me through all of it. Excuse me, I had to get something to drink. And so that's how I got started. And I ended up incorporating my business, with an LLC. Filing my tax identification number. I knew nothing about any of that stuff. Absolutely nothing. So it was just a lot of painstaking research, a lot of mistakes, and I'm still learning, still making mistakes. You never stop learning. And I just watch a lot of guys on YouTube who already have lawn care and landscaping companies established, and following their guys' lead, remaining a student. That's how I actually got started. So. It literally started with my mom's 21-inch Honda Aaron's lawnmower. Now, by the grace of Allah, I have 3 commercial lawnmowers. They're not new. I bought them all used and got them at decent prices. Got them all fixed up. I put about $3,000 into them. I saved up some money and had a small income tax return from when I was working last year. I took all of that and invested every single dime of it, and hoping to have a big year this year. So we getting started now. We've been doing some fertilizer, a lot of mulch and rock installations. I've been putting pictures up on Facebook and so forth, and it's been going very well, especially for a guy that's been through what I've been through. I had a rough life, and was in the streets when I was a younger guy. I'll be 34 here soon, so this is something that is really working well, because I'm building my hands. I'm pretty strong. I'm what my good friend Fareed Mansour says. I'm an autodidact type. I can look at something one time and learn it. And it's kind of a skill that my family has. My uncle was the same. All of my uncles are the same way. They made their own way. None of them, except for one of them, went to college. And they all became successful contractors, I guess you could call them bootstrappers. So I'm just getting in my lane, trying to, get myself established. And this is something I love to do, because you get to take something that's ugly or underdeveloped, and you get to develop it, with landscaping and especially lawn care. And I love the whole trust factor of it all. I love the fact that somebody would take, they would trust me to come on their property, where they're staying, where they're renting, buying, and and trust that I would do a great job, for their property, as if almost, they would be doing it themselves. That's the way I try to mold and model my business. I try to get the customer's idea. When I'm doing the estimate, I get the customer's idea, and I try to embody their idea, so much so as if I was actually them doing their work. That's how I try to differentiate myself from the average mow and go guys. A lot of those kind of guys out there, and I get it, because they're busy. They got 20 yards to do in a day. I won't schedule myself like that. I'll schedule myself, 10 yards is probably my max at the time, because I'm not working with anybody. So, I'm working alone, and hopefully as business grows, I'll hire an employee. I normally bring my son with me, as a chore. He can learn responsibility. I'm teaching him how to, work these big commercial mowers and so forth. As bring my wife's son with me. So, I like to, get very hands-on. I take my time with the work, and that's the way my mom taught me. And she taught me from that aspect, because, she has contractors at her house all the time, from outside contractors, roofers, guys that do siding, drywall guys, construction guys, and all types of stuff. And, guys come through and put a few nails in the wall, and they want $1,000, or they come cut the grass one time and they want $65 for cutting the grass, and she has a big yard, but it's not big like, oh man, this is going to cost $150 big. It's not like 3 acres or nothing like that. It's bigger than average. But so, from that perspective, she is a customer, and she's a single woman, she's a single mother, she's a single grandmother. So, she told me to, be a respectful contractor, and to, take care of people's needs as if I was doing the work for her. And, I'll never have any problems with anybody. And just about every job that I've done, big jobs, I've gotten a tip, or they overpay, because they feel that appreciation that I try to convey. So, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I'm almost to the landfill now. This is Hafner and Sons in Cincinnati. This is the landfill I like to use. It's kind of close to my house. We have a 50 route that takes you east and west. I stay on the lower west side, and this is on the far east side. And it's just that one hot road that'll take you straight there from my house. So if I do a tear out, I can just take a straight shot over here, dump my stuff, and get on with the rest of my day. So hope I inspire somebody. That's what the meaning of this video is. I've been through a lot. I've been through a whole lot, and like I said, decade in prison. I was in and out of trouble in school, all through school, as far as back I can remember. And there is hope. My good friend Fareed Mansour, he said one time we were in prison, and I had got in trouble. I think I got into a fight with a guy or something like that, and he was like, "You need to control your temper. You're getting older. You can't live your life like that. So on and so forth." I was like, "I'm trying." He was like, "All right." He said, "Pick up that." He said, "Try to pick up that pen." So I went to pick it up. He said, "No." He said, "Try to pick up that pen." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Try to pick the pen up." So I went to go grab the pen again, and he smacked my hand down. I said, "Try." I was like, "What are you talking about? I am trying to pick it up. You won't let me." He said, No. He said, "The moral of the story is you can't try to do anything. You can do it. You must do it. That's it. You can't try to do anything. If I try to touch this phone, I will never touch it. But if I touch the phone, then I've touched it. If I touch it, I've touched it. But you can't try to touch something." So I took that to heart. And I'm still working with that. So I want to inspire everybody to, if they're going through something, if they're having a hard time, don't give up. Keep pushing and figure it out. If I can figure it out, anybody can. Okay, you with the Yard Barber Lawn Care. Cincinnati, Ohio. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Assalamu alaikum.